So welcome back, everyone. Lovely to see you all as always. Let's go straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state. So however you normally do that, by using your word or phrase, using your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love about your subject. Good job. And now start to feel that opening in your heart, that expansion feeling in your chest. Very good. And allowing that light to shine out from you. Steve, I'm assuming that alarm, that siren is the regular monthly tornado testing, not a real tornado, considering the storm going on? Okay. Allow that light to shine out from your heart. And then allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill the little you, yourself as a child, any age. Love that little you just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from that little you and fill your whole childhood, shining that light into any darkness, filling everything, everyone, every experience, every event, every circumstance. And noticing that power as you do that, how strong that little you is now. How protected. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today, all those who are on camera, all those who are off camera. Loving each one just for existing. Very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. And let's check in with each person, how you're doing. So Katrina, how are you today?
Hi, Odile. Yes, good news for you. The memory that we were working on with my friend.
Yes.
You know, I needed her and all that. So after, I think it's 5 days, you know, I was ringing and texting and there was nothing.
Right.
And then she just pops up. And so I got acknowledgement and I got a thank you. So I got all that was needed. So it was fantastic without having to even, you know, speak to her, why, what, whatever, nothing. It's just...
Well done, Katrina. That's fantastic. Good job. And thank you for sharing that because it'll encourage others as well. Yay for you.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. Yes.
Good.
So.
And any questions for today?
Right. So after I got the, I don't know how this popped up. This word, even though I got the thank you and I go, you're welcome, there was still part of me holding, not against her, do you know what I mean? As I understand her life and whatever, but there's still this sort of grudge.
Mm-hmm.
So I dug a little bit deeper, and all my life I did hold a grudge. Wow. I've just triggered myself and I haven't even started.
Okay.
I've held a grudge against my mother.
Right.
So, and I feel at the time or way back then, I felt empowered when I was being mean and horrible to her, being cold. It was the only thing I could get to punish her.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sense.
So, anyway, I don't know. What are we going to do with that?
You are just so wonderful, Katrina. I love you to bits. All right. So let's have a look at, so the grudge. So what's wrong with the grudge? What is triggering you about it, I suppose, is the main thing.
I don't know, because I literally got this. I seem to only get everything a half an hour or 20 minutes or even 10 minutes to sort of, searching, what will I talk about, what will I get? And then up something pops.
Yes.
So I haven't had time to, what was your question? What is
just what was triggering
grudge?
Yeah. So what brought up that emotion?
As I related it to her saying her busy, forgot, and then thank you, whatever. There was still a grudge. There was still something that triggered the grudge in me.
Right.
Which I know is which I hold against my mother, not Linda, not. Oh. Okay.
That's right. And so the what emotion came up there when you said, "Oh, I'm triggering myself now, and I haven't even started yet"? What was that emotion?
Just when I said I hold it against my mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that? So what was that?
I don't know. It was just this sadness of.
There you go. All right. So sadness. So let's look at this now, and let's use the allowing exercise first. So I want you to notice how that feels. So the feeling of you're holding a grudge against your mother and that sadness. You got that? Good job. Very good. And what kind of feeling is it? Like sensation wise, where in your body are you feeling it? And what kind of sensation is it?
It's everywhere. It's overpowering everywhere. Yeah.
All right. So now I want you to put your hand on your shoulder. I'm just mixing it up a little bit now. So notice your hand on your shoulder and how that feels, the sensation on your shoulder and the sensation on your hand, what that feels like. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. So feel that, and it's just a sensation. There's no meaning to that, of course. You're just putting your hand on your shoulder and it's just a sensation. And now I want you to notice that feeling that's all over of sadness, and I'm holding a grudge against my mother, whatever those sensations are. I want you to notice those sensations without giving them any meaning. There is no meaning to this. It is literally just sensations in your body. Can you do that? Yeah.
You feel the sensation, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good, sweetheart. So now I want you to just allow those sensations to be there. Just like your hand on your shoulder, just allow those sensations. They don't mean anything. You don't have to make them stop or go away. There's no expectation. They don't need to change. They can just be there as physical sensations. Are you able to do that?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. And as you do that, what happens? Do the sensations stay the same or do they change in some way?
No, it's actually getting more powerful.
Good.
The sadness is getting even bigger.
It's very good. All right. So as that sadness gets more powerful and bigger, just allow that as well. Allow it to be there. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to stop it. You can just allow it. Can you do that?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So this is the little you finally able to express herself, unfettered, to use a equestrian term, I think. So to just allow that little you, there is nothing wrong with her feeling and expressing herself. And how does that feel now? Does it stay the same? Does it change?
Yeah, it's getting stronger in that the sadness is I really missed out. I never had a relationship with her.
Yes. So this is a perfect example. Thank you for this, because this is a perfect example of something that Steve and I were talking about this morning, of how this allowing exercise works physiologically. Do you see the reason it's getting stronger is because you're thinking about the fact that you missed out. So your focus went from the physical sensations to giving it meaning. And that triggers more stress chemicals. Those are literally connections in your neocortex. Every thought you have is a connection in your neocortex and triggers matching chemicals. So as you start thinking about the fact that you missed out, you are pumping more stress chemicals into your system. So the feeling's getting stronger. So that's why with the allowing exercise, one of the ways it works is it pulls your focus, it stops those connections that are pumping stress chemicals into your system, and it brings your focus to the physical sensations, no meaning. It's just a physical sensation, like your hand on your leg, or your hand on your head, or your bum on the chair, whatever, just those physical sensations, no meaning. Now, I missed out. That's a meaning. That's assigning a meaning to it, which is triggering the stress chemicals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. So there is no meaning to these sensations other than what you give, other than the meaning you give, like I missed out. All right?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. But also the physical sensation is very, very tired. It's like, wow.
Oh, good. Yeah. And that's the result of the stress chemicals and your brain doing some work. So that feeling of tiredness, just relax into it right now. Because right now you don't have to go and jog around the block or do anything. You can just relax. You can be tired. Nothing wrong with that. How does that feel to just allow that tiredness? Can you do that?
Okay. Yes.
Good job, Katrina. Beautiful. All right. So as you allow that tiredness and you allow whatever's there, what happens inside you? So keeping your focus on those physical sensations, no meaning.
Well, I'm now enjoying the tiredness because I'm relaxing.
Perfect. That is the perfect thing. Well done. And that is a natural, because we give meanings to things. So, feeling the tiredness, if you'd given a meaning to I'm so drained or this is terrible, whatever, then you would be pumping more stress chemicals into your system. As you relax into it and go, it's okay to be tired. It's okay for this to stay here. You bring down the stress chemicals and you're able to enjoy it. And then your prefrontal cortex comes back on.
Okay.
All right. So now let's move forward. So the grudge against your mum, I know you've done due justice letter to your mum, right?
Yes.
Now, have you done it about this particular feeling of I missed out, or whatever that is? What was this? I missed out, I think you said.
I've missed, I never had a relationship with my mother.
Right.
So I've missed a whole, I might as well never had her as my mother. I never experienced her.
Yes.
I've no memories of her. It was just total disconnection.
Very good. Now, let me ask you here, what does that mean to you? Because there are, you know, people's mothers die and they leave and what have you, as well as they're still there, but they don't have a relationship with them. So what does it mean to you that you never had a relationship with your mum? Because you've given it, your brain has given it some meaning.
I never wanted to get to know her or like her, and now I'm ready.
Right, there it is. All right, very, very good. So we found that core. That's perfect. Now, the great news is you can still get to know her, right? Because it all happens inside you anyway. So whether she's here or not, your brain, your subconscious, your brain and body don't know. So as you sit and daydream and imagine and create beautiful new memories, the great news is you don't need her to cooperate. The great news is you get to control exactly what those memories are, what those experiences are, and how you experience her. You are the, you know, I know Steve says this, you are the writer, the director, the star of your own experience, right? So you're even the director of photography because you can decide what angles to look from. So you get to choose now. You don't need anybody else. You don't need your mum to physically be here because your subconscious cannot tell the difference. All right. So my mum died last year, but as far as I'm concerned, she's still with me because I can still create these experiences with her. My brain doesn't know the difference. I still get the same feeling. I still get the same, you know, connection, that feeling of love and appreciation and fun, right? So the next step now is see if you can create some key bookmark memories. Some little of your mum, you and your mum, and I know you've done some of them, so create more now of specific memories with you and your mum. Now, let's just check, as I say that, any resistance to doing that or any questions.
I have no memories of doing anything with my mum.
Perfect. Then you get to start from scratch. Then you get to create exactly what you want. Doesn't have to have any, it doesn't even have to be based on a true story. It can just be purely from the beginning, exactly as you want. So you get, I mean, how amazing is that? You've got the power to choose. You don't have to try and fit your new memories into a specific mold or get them to fit certain things. You get to start completely from scratch. How does that feel?
Yes, wonderful, but I would need help. And
that's okay. That's what we're here for. So when you say you need help, what's the first thing that you think you need help with?
Well, making up memories, as in, I don't know how to make up a memory with her.
All right. So I'm going to give you an example, and then I think the best option is the new memory group, the Remit Method new memory group on Facebook. Put a post in there asking for suggestions for these new memories, okay, so that everyone can contribute, because we've got such a wealth of wonderful minds here and imaginations, and that everyone, and people love contributing. So I know that would be wonderful for everybody. But I'm going to give you a little example to start with. So, I mean, I have a memory of your mum when you were first born, and she's holding you in her arms, and she's just so grateful to have you. Number one, it's a little girl, and she's got these boys, but oh, how wonderful to have a girl. She's got someone who she can feel a special connection to that she can't have with the boys. She loves the boys, but it's not the same. And so she's holding you in her arms, and your dad is there and he wants to hold you and she doesn't want to give you to him because you're brand new and she doesn't want anyone to hold you yet because she's just so connected to you. All right, how does that feel to begin with?
No, that does not go down because I was told by a psychic that she wanted a boy.
Good. All right. So
Appointment to her.
right. So how do you know that? How do you know she was told that by the psychic?
No, a psychic told me.
Right. And so you believe the psychic?
Yeah, because all her actions towards me and disconnection.
Okay. And
I didn't. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't told this till I was 30. But when I looked back, I was thinking, well, yeah, there was no connection. There was no love. There was no nothing.
Now, this is a very important question. This is for a lot of people, actually. Do you want to keep that?
Certainly not.
Good. Then don't. Then let it go. Right? Change what the psychic told you, but if you need to, but that's not really the important thing. So you get to create this from scratch. So as you're thinking about this new memory where she's so thrilled that it's a girl, she desperately wanted a girl because all of those boys, and so everything I described, and you'll get it again when you watch this recording, so you follow along with it, allow yourself to go along with it. Because again, remember, when we watch movies, we don't sit there going, this isn't real, this isn't real. We allow ourselves to go along with it. So as those thoughts pop up, I know that, they happen spontaneously where you're going, oh, but the psychic told me. As that happens, your answer to that is, my subconscious doesn't know that.
Okay.
So I am deciding now what happened. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump in for just a second. And when you're thinking about that metaphor of being the writer, director, producer of your own show, your own movie, sometimes you're going to be running into what you just went through right here was a perfect example of, yes, but the audience isn't going to believe that story because there's this old information back there. And as you're thinking about this show that you're producing, this movie that you're producing, there's an audience, and there's an audience of one, and it's your conscious mind. So if you're creating a convincing backstory, so it's like, oh, well, this piece of information is from the old story. We don't need that anymore. Let's rewrite that so it's now convincing to the conscious mind, so that it's like, oh, yes, this is a believable backstory. Yes, okay. Yeah, I heard this information from a psychic that my mother knew it was going to be a girl. And you can see yourself, it's like recreate that scene. It's like you went to the psychic and you were so excited that you heard that information. So it really is about rewriting the scene. Don't allow old cuts, or old information from the old movie to end up on the new edit. It's like, well, what your audience member is going to be like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. So just allow. So that's the conscious mind. Your subconscious is going to believe whatever you give it. But it's this work that we're doing for the conscious mind to get rid of those old bits that don't seem to make sense. Does that help a little bit? Good.
Yeah, it makes such a difference when I understand. I can end slot it in and I run with it. Yeah.
And it's so much more empowering to be the writer and the director and the producer, because if you think about a show, if you think about a production, actors or actresses in the show usually have the least amount of power. They just get to read the script. They don't even get to choose the costuming, where to stand. They're being told. They have the least amount of power in the show. So you've been the actress in this show all your life. Now you're stepping up and taking the responsibility of writing, directing, and producing the show. So if you're not liking the direction of the show, you get to change it. You get to say cut. It's like wrong script. Say that over again. So That's the empowering bit of this. This is stepping out of the victimhood of being the actor in your show, and now stepping into the power of producing the whole thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Good.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I love that. Yes. And of course, as an ex-professional actress, that's even better. But for everybody, this is amazing because we all know enough, we watch enough movies to have that. And you can, just adding to that metaphor, when the conscious mind goes, like Steve was saying, but what about this, that, and the other, make sure that you change that backstory for your audience so that it does make sense. And in addition to that, I mentioned this just the other day, it's certainly in theater, it became a kind of joke when an actor says, oh, but what's my motivation? But what's, so the director says, move over there. And the actor goes, but what's my motivation for moving over there? So that became like a thing, especially in the light comedies, because, the answer from one of the directors I worked with was, your paycheck at the end of the week, now move. So, so you can use those kinds of things. So my mother didn't, this doesn't make sense, but what's my motivation? Make up a motivation, pick something. So you get to, like Steve said, you are the boss now of the whole thing rather than being just the actor. So beautiful. Helpful?
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, yes.
One last little bit, that if you're still you're still finding resistance and you're still struggling with this, then it could be that you need to go back and do another due justice letter to release whatever is still might be there that you're holding, whatever that anger is. So it just becomes another opportunity to give voice to that little you, to get rid of whatever's there. So that's the only other thing I had.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you, William.
You're very welcome, Katrina, and thank you so much for sharing, because, as we know, all of this information is going to be so useful to others as well. So thank you, sweetheart.
Okay.
All right. And Lisa, you're next up on my screen. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. It's Tiara Tuesday. Yeah. This is from your book. You have a superpower, page 21. And on the top, I thought this was really cool. So it's about how unconditional love works for happiness. So you can feel unconditional love and happiness at the same time, and unhappiness at the same time. You can feel fear and unconditional love at the same time. You can feel frustration, anger, and irritation, and unconditional love at the same time. But as you start to feel unconditional love in the moment, in the middle of whatever negative emotions you're feeling at the time, your superpower neutralizes the negative state and replaces it. So I think that's really, really super powerful, because sometimes we get replay tapes over and over and like, whoa, stop. I could just love it all no matter what.
That's it. Perfect. Thanks.
That was really good.
Another great one. And it was in my head and now it's fallen out. But that was really good. Thank you.
I'll hop in with the that I think that really speaks. It's another way of talking about the allowing technique as well. That the allowing technique and being in that unconditional love state. It's difficult to separate those two. That practicing allowing is just another way of practicing being in that state of unconditional love.
Well, yeah, it's a stepping stone. It's probably not.
Yes. That it's another tool that's helping move us in that direction.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. Thank you. That was beautiful with Katrina. Beautiful job.
It was, yeah.
Very powerful.
And
thank you.
You're very welcome. Did you have any questions for today?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. And Sue, you're next up on my screen. How are you today?
Hi, that was really interesting stuff with Katrina. I can't wait to see what it was all about from the start. But I just resonate so much with what she talks about. And I just love her openness and her honesty and vulnerability.
Wow.
I'm okay.
Good.
Just, my arm is quite sore. I went to the chiropractor today, and it seems like I've got lots of little sore parts on my body, which people say is age, and I am in denial. So and my sister, I've just had a long talk with my sister, and she's got really advanced osteoarthritis in her hips, and she can hardly move, and she's thinking about getting a wheelchair and a walker, and I go like, oh my God, that really freaks me out. Just that she's in that situation. And then just that the chiropractor also suggests that I go and have x-rays to see what's happening with my hip.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, like, I'm very flexible. It just wants to fall out of joint all the time. But yeah, I think I know how to, like just talking to her, it gives me ideas on how I can work through things on my own.
Good. Very, very good.
So I have that kind of sick feeling about her. So, and the situation she's in.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's look at that. And this is your sister you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that sick feeling, what's that about? What's bringing up the sick feeling? What is it that?
Well, I think it's that if I was in her situation, I mean, she lives alone. She doesn't have an investment as like a retirement kind of thing or anything like that, and she's in constant pain. And I know if I just have like a headache, or when my arm is bothering me, or if my, like if something hurts, how I feel. And I suppose it's just, like it's all coming, how I'm feeling about her is just all about me, obviously.
Right. Okay. Very good. So I'm assuming you're putting yourself in her place. You're imagining what it would be like to be her.
What it must be like. And I mean, like, I would just, like when I was talking to her, I was just thinking to myself, like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And still sort of manage to sort of laugh when she talks about how she has to try and lift her legs up into bed and everything. And it almost makes me feel ill, like sick.
Very
sick.
good. Okay. So let's look at this now. So first of all, I want you to think about her situation and everything it means, and how can you home in on the feeling? I take it from you can. Okay, good. So now I want you to notice where in your body you feel that feeling.
In my throat.
Very good. And now I want you to just allow it to be there. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a sensation. Just that sensation, whatever that sensation is, it's okay for it to be there. It doesn't mean anything. You don't have to make it go away or change it. No expectations, just allow it. Can you do that?
Yes, but the thinking mind keeps going.
Okay, good. And allow the thinking mind. Just allow it. Can you do that? Just focusing on how it feels.
Then that makes my throat go squitch again.
Good. So notice that feeling in your throat and just allow it to be there. And whenever your mind starts thinking, just bring it back to the sensation in your throat and allow. And let me know if you can do that.
No. What happens?
What happens when you try?
It's like I can't feel the feeling in my throat.
Good. All right.
So then if I go and I think about her, let me just see what happens there. So if I think about her, then it comes back again.
Good. So don't think about her for the moment. Just focus on the feeling in your throat And as you do that, it goes away. Is that right?
Yeah, because there's no thinking that's creating that.
Exactly. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've done that. So now I want to ask you, so when you think about your sister, what she's doing, just tell me just briefly, what's her general demeanor like? What does she do with her time? How is she a positive, happy, shiny, lovely person that's enjoying her life?
I wouldn't say so. No, I mean, she's jolly. She has, most of the time, she has a lot of energy, and she's very A-type personality.
Okay. And has she changed her
She's an
childhood?
architect.
Very good.
I beg your pardon?
Has she changed her childhood memories?
Oh, no, she doesn't have time to do anything like that.
Right. So there's the first, so for your conscious mind, for your conscious logical mind, there's the first big difference between you and her.
Yeah.
Right? So she's got those GPS coordinates. You've changed your GPS coordinates. Right?
Yes.
In the process of changing more. So you're not going to end up in the same place because you've got different GPS coordinates, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, that's just for your conscious mind to reassure that. So now let's look at that sick feeling. That seems to ring a bell for me from your childhood, being sick, right?
Car sick.
Uh-huh, okay. And is that still the same or have you changed it?
I haven't even thought of it.
Good, there you go.
But I know that I used to get car sick, and then the one time we were on our way to Byra, and my granny gave me green sweets to suck.
Nice. And did it help?
Yes.
Good, very good.
I still like green sweets.
I bet you. That would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
So, so let's look at that time. So let's go there quickly.
Oh my word, yeah. Oh, there's lots of stuff now. Because that same sick feeling, like I had a hiatus hernia operation in 1983, 84, somewhere around there. And so, and then the doctor said that I will never be able to vomit again. So I have a little bit of a fear of ever being in a situation where I need to vomit, because it can rip whatever they put in there. They can rip it off, rip it out.
That'll do it. That'll
yeah.
Into you. All right. So I want you to go to that memory of you in the car with your granny and the sweets. Can you go there now? Good. About how old were you then?
Maybe about, gosh, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Just
11, 10, I have no idea.
All right, so around there. So I want you to tell me just before, what happened just before your granny gave you the sweets? What led up to that?
Well, I can just see myself lying. We had a big station wagon car, and the back was packed, and I was lying on the top of all the stuff on the back.
Yeah.
And I was just feeling really sick.
Okay.
And then she gave me a boiled green sweet, no idea what it was. And she said, suck this because that'll help.
Good.
And so I sucked it.
How did you feel emotionally when she did that?
Well, I suppose I don't really know.
Okay.
But I mean, I can just, suppose stuff, but nothing really jumps out.
All right. So, because lying down when riding along in a car is one of the quickest ways to feel ill for those who are prone to it, number one. So let's have you, instead of lying down, sitting on the seat next to your granny, looking out the window. Can you do that?
Yeah, I still feel car sick.
Yes, for the moment, yeah. So you're looking out. I want you to notice the feeling of car sickness and just allow it to be there. Can you do that?
Okay, yeah, I can.
Anything, and you're not in a car now.
No.
Allow it. And what happens when you just relax and allow that feeling to be there, not giving it any meaning at all.
I feel like I have to concentrate so hard to make it, to relax and just allow it to be there. Because initially when you said just allow it to be there, then it almost like came up like, oh, you got to get it out.
Yeah, so just relax and allow it. It's not coming out because there's nothing to come out, because
No, there's nothing to come out.
there's nothing there. This is not real. So it's just a reflex reaction, and you can just relax. And now I want you to notice, what are you and your granny doing in the car? So the car is stationary. You're not even driving right now. You're just sitting in the car.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? And you and your granny are playing some kind of game, or you're doing an activity. What are you doing as you're waiting in the car?
I don't know. There seems, and I'm doing it from my being there, not watching down. You know, like first person, I think you call it.
That's good.
And I just see like hands and laughing, hands in front of, you know, my hands and her hands and laughing.
Good. Very good. And how does
I don't
that?
know what's going on, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that feels quite fun.
Good. All right. So I want you to play that through right now and let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Good. Play it through again. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Good job. And play it through one more time. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. And now I want you to notice that the car is moving and you're arriving somewhere very exciting. Where are you arriving? And remember, there's no restriction. So it could be Disney World. It could be, you know, a fun fair. It could be anything.
Well, it's the ocean because we live far from the ocean.
Okay.
And it's the first time. Okay, let's say it's the first time seeing the ocean, and it's beautiful and it's big.
Fantastic. And so the car is
yeah. Also, like what we did do too, driving through a game reserve.
Nice. Yes, driving through a game reserve. So whichever feels the most fun and exciting, you can have both. Doesn't matter. The ocean could be in the game reserve because
yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like it's go through the game reserve, and then like you look there, and there's like game, and then there's the ocean.
Very good. And how does that feel as you watch that scenery?
That's exciting. And it's funny because it's also a feeling in my throat. It's like like a suppressed squeal kind of excitement feeling.
There you go. Yeah. So it's just the meaning we give.
Yeah.
Okay. So now so that we've done that, and then of course you'll practice that new memory, right?
Yeah.
And now let's think about your sister and what's there when you think about your sister right now.
That's still the same.
Okay, good.
It's also more, it's like like the sinking feeling in my heart almost.
Yeah. And so I want you to let's go into the superpower state. So get yourself into the superpower state, however you do that. So if you use your kitty or something else, get into that state. Let me know when you've got it.
Why is this taking so hard? It's like
because you've already got
anxiety.
You've already got stress chemicals in your system, and that's okay. So tell me about your kitty. How much do you love her?
She's just too sweet.
And
okay, yes, now I can get in there. Like now I get that feeling. I don't know, because I almost get a salivating mouth, which
that's it.
Is a bit odd. But it's an indication is when I'm in that state.
Perfect. And so that beautiful kitty, what's her name again?
Lola.
Lola, that's right. I thought it was Lola, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so Lola and everything you love about her. How adorable.
Oh my God, she's just too cute.
Very good. Good job. And now I want you to make that, allow that light, that energy to spread all the way through your body. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Love you have for her. Very good. Good job. And now I want you to send that light, that energy to your sister. From the tips, fill her with that light, that energy from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love her exactly as she is and without her needing to change. And this is the very best thing you can do for her. You can't make her.
Okay, now it wants to sort of like just stay on the outside of her. I feel like I want to actually allow that light to penetrate into her.
Well, first, just allow it to be on the outside.
Be okay, okay.
Just allow it to be there. Yeah. So you're just allowing that light, that energy. Can you do that?
Yes.
Exactly as she is, and without her ever needing to change. Love her exactly as she is. She doesn't need to be anything different for you to love her.
Mm.
Right?
Okay.
You got that? Very good.
Yeah.
And now see if you can allow it to start at her toes, going inside and spreading all the way up to her head. And it can go quickly and out to her fingertips, this beautiful bright light, this love that loves exactly as the thing is, and without needing anything to change, is shining a light into any darkness. Can you do that?
Yes.
Good, very good.
It's taking a long time. It's almost like it's a light that's sort of like moving around and just going up, like, yeah, okay.
Good, good. And so you want to practice this as much as you can. And now I want you to think about her. Think about your sister now and what happens.
A feeling of hope and lightness, and actually that maybe if I do that, who knows what can happen.
Exactly. Exactly. And the key, of course, is to keep it unconditional. So you're doing it, it would be lovely if something changes, but the key is, the power is in loving it exactly as it is, loving her exactly as she is, even if it. So now, from now on, whenever, if you think of your sister and that feeling comes up at all, number one, play that new memory of you and your granny playing, doing whatever you're doing, in the car and the beach and the game reserve, and then get into the state and send love to your sister. That's what you're going to do every time it comes up. All right? How does that sound?
Yeah, good.
Good. Very good. Any other questions?
No, I'm also, my arm is hurting me quite a lot.
Okay. And again,
but that's I need to just sort of like also just let it be, instead of taking a deep breath and getting a fright from it and going like, oh no, in my being. It's just sort of like just allowing myself to try and be with the pain.
Yeah, because also, again, pain is a story. There are no pain receptors in the skin, in the rest of the body.
Okay.
There are only sensation receptors, and they send a signal to the brain, and it's the brain that comes up with the meaning. This is pain.
Okay. Okay.
This is pain. So it's the signal that is interpreted in the brain. Okay.
As being pain. Oh, so the signal goes to the brain, and then the subconscious comes in or whatever and says pain.
Right. Right. So and of course,
okay,
wired that way so that and so it is a very quick signal. It's the quickest signal because for survival. Because if you put your hand on a hot stove, you don't want to wait for the signal to eventually get couriered up to the brain. You want to but it's and so one person, if you pray, you whatever, what am I doing? Stick your nail into your finger, and one person.
Or a pin, maybe would be a bit.
Well, a pin probably too much, but something that's not like
that's not going to penetrate. Okay.
Right. And one person will find something painful, another person will find it not painful, or varying degrees of pain. And you'll notice as well, when you've got pain and then you get distracted, very often you forget the pain until you remember it again, then it comes back, or until you're no longer distracted. Pain moves around, unless you've there's something life-threatening, or you've broken your arm or something. But with pain like this, so number one, the biggest thing, painkillers are based on endorphins.
Mm.
So when you have pain, your brain produces a certain amount of endorphins. Now, if you're able to amp up the levels of endorphins, it has a painkiller effect. So the happier you are, the more fun you can have, the more you enjoy something, the more those painkillers. So it's like taking paracetamol or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, God, you know, like this mind thing is just, it just really, I mean, I've been discussing it with my husband quite a lot lately. And it just is endlessly fascinating to me because I watch Naked and Afraid and I see what the people go through there. And I don't know if you know that program, Naked and Afraid. Anyway, I just love it. And so it, you know, like he was just saying about how it's all in the mind and stuff like that. And then I just always, you know, you want to go like it's not,
Mm-hmm.
but it absolutely is. I mean, when he broke his leg, when was that? In 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was like, what, 300 kilometers from here.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, and his bike flipped, and it actually twisted his leg and fractured his thigh bone,
Mm-hmm.
and broke his ankle. And the motorbike was on him, and he phoned me. He had a bar on his cell phone, so he was able to phone me to say get an ambulance. And then I asked him afterwards, and I said, when you were there, because the ambulance took quite a long time to find him eventually.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to get his number, and they were talking to each other.
I'm aware.
And he said,
No.
sorry, yeah, but anyway, he just said that he was not afraid,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and he was prepared to spend the whole night there. And that's the mind. It's nothing else.
Because it'll depend on, number one, his references in the first place, and number two, where he was putting his focus. And each person will be different. Yeah.
Oh my word! It's
Very,
really, it's
yes. Good. All right.
wow.
Good to go?
Yes.
Good job. Well done, Sue, and thank you for sharing. Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And Swasti? Hey, sweetheart. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but the person you suggested, Andrew Kirby, he actually released a video on like the subconscious memories and childhood stuff. And I thought that's really cool. Yeah. So I did actually leave a comment with your links and things in the video, so because the people I feel like it will benefit his audience because he's got a big audience.
Yes, thank you for doing that. That's very appreciated.
Yeah, I think it will be helpful. But I had a question. It's kind of about pain kind of thing as well. So just like period pain. I get quite annoyed when I have to so I've been working really hard on like 0 tolerance throughout the month.
Right.
And then this pain comes and I can't get out of that. I can't feel good. I just feel okay or bad for like 2 days.
Okay.
So that just makes me feel really bad because you've been working hard the whole month and now you can't pull yourself out like no matter what you do.
All right. So let me ask you this. What does that remind you of? You've been working really hard and you can't pull yourself out of, or whatever that means.
Nothing comes up, just a general topic of school and pressure and parents being happy or not happy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So because what's wrong with just taking those days out and just going, you know what? I'm in pain. I'm going to give myself this time to recover. Because here's the thing with pain as well, as we've been discovering, the more stressed you are, in other words, the more frustrated you feel with the pain, or the more, you've got those stress chemicals of being held out. I've been working so hard and now this is, whatever that means to you, the more intense the pain will get because you haven't got the endorphins, the painkillers. Mm-hmm. So you want to do whatever it takes, and you will recover faster and be able to get back to working if
Mhm.
you take that time out. And this goes for everybody with, you know, pretty much any symptoms you've got that are feeling like they're holding you back. It will be so much quicker and more effective to recover if you allow yourself that time and go, okay, today I'm feeling bad in whatever way. I've got pain, I feel sick, or whatever it is. I'm going to take today to just relax. I'll sleep as much as I need to. I'll watch some happy, uplifting stuff. I'll play a game. I'll listen to audiobooks, whatever feels good, whatever it takes to feel good. And then when I'm feeling better, I will come back to whatever this is. And that is like that thing of sharpening the saw. You know, it goes against the grain. It feels, you know, counterintuitive to stop, to sharpen the saw, but that's what's going to make it quicker and more effective.
Mm.
How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Good, very good. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll work on the references if whatever comes up. Like,
So-
yeah. So whatever comes up, I will see. Like nothing, like a specific memory hasn't come up now. So.
Yeah, and so with that, you know, do the allowing thing as well. So allow the pain to be there, like I was talking through with Sue. Just allow it. It's just a sensation. Doesn't mean anything. So the meaning, one of the meanings you're giving it is that it's holding you back.
Yeah.
So you're giving that meaning to it, but that's not actually what it means. It's just there. It's just a sensation.
Okay.
All right. And
Yeah.
so that will also help to bring those stress chemicals down. And then if you're still finding, you know, those that it's you can't allow it, or those thoughts keep coming up of being held back, then yes, check your childhood for other ways in which you were held back that you have, you know, that are still the old references.
Okay.
And those.
Okay.
You have quite a few of those, but I think you've
Mm,
changed them, but just check them.
yeah, I think something that just came up now is like moving classes. So in India, people could shift.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
they could go to a higher one if they were smart enough. But I never got to do that.
All right. There you go. So yeah, good job.
Okay. Thank you.
Well done, Swasti. You're very welcome. All right, Steve, are we ready to go into the targeting? Fantastic. So you'll send me the targets. All right, everyone, take a deep breath and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. And allowing your heart to open, that expansion feeling in your chest as that light or energy shines out from you. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill your subject, loving that subject exactly as they are. And imagine that your subject no longer wants to be with you or doesn't have the qualities you love and admire, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill Lisa from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Good job. And now to Sue. Fill Sue with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. And now allow that light, that energy to fill Sue's arm that hurts. Shining that light into any darkness and loving her arm exactly as it is without needing it to change. loving it anyway, loving the pain exactly as it is without needing it to change. Very, very good. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Katrina just for existing. Very good. Good job. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Swasti just for existing. Very, very good. And now to everyone who's off camera today, fill all of them with that same light, that energy. Loving each one just for existing. And everyone who's watching the recording, love each one just for existing, shining this light into any darkness, loving it all anyway. Very, very good job. And now think of yourself later today, whatever you'll be doing, whatever you'll be experiencing or feeling, and love that version of you just for existing, no matter what. Very good. And now pick a target, either in your life or in the world, and fill that target with this same light, this energy, shining this light into any darkness, loving it exactly as it is, no matter what, feeling the power as you do that, and surge. Very good, and surge again. Good job, very good. And you can open your eyes. And thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much to those who shared today. It really is, it really helps us to help others. And the person who said, I will adopt you as my mother, with great pleasure. Katrina, I would love to have you as my daughter. Absolutely. And I don't have a daughter, so anyone who's volunteering to be my daughter, I would love that. All of you. All right, then. Lots of love to all of you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Yes, you too, Swasti, definitely. All right. And we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye now.